Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. Almost of all of us want to become somebody who is a legend, somebody who is quite interesting and worth following, worth imitating, worth accompanying. That is really great. I think that although it is the wish and desire of everybody, but obviously, there aren't many who succeed in achieving this status, who succeed in becoming a kind of example and a role model for the rest of the people. So, dear friends, does it mean that it is something which is unachievable or which is a kind of Herculean task? Not at all. It is doable, quite doable. Simply, we need to understand how is it possible. And once we do come across some solid advice, obviously, if at all the solid advice is there in front of us and we are quite serious about it, it only means that yes, we can do that. And here, as this is the topic of our discussion, we have found there are certain ways, and these certain ways are eight in number. If we do understand it well, if at all we do practice the eight of these things which are quite doable, I think and I believe that we too will become a kind of legion, and the people will like to listen to us, the people will like to follow us, the people, even once we are gone from this world, even the people will talk about us in an admirable manner. So let's look upon the eight of these things which actually makes somebody a character like this one. So the first thing out of those eight is cultivate a strong presence. How can we do that? Well, first of all, I think that we need to dress mean according to our own resources. We need to dress as good as we easily can. Obviously, we need to trim our hair, and then there are certain things which can be called the manners. I think that we need to pay full attention to the people we are listening to, the people we are talking, and off and on, for a second or two, we need to establish the eye contact with the people who are there in the company, with the people who are talking to us, with the people who are listening to us, and then we need to keep a straight posture. Either we are sitting or standing, we need to keep a straight posture. We need to act in such a manner that the people should feel comfortable with us. The people should feel valued. The people should think that they are comfortable on the one hand and they have been given the true importance. We need to listen to the people, being a good listener. So that is the first thing which is called cultivating a strong presence. Now, the second is that embrace minimalism. Embracing the minimalism. Generally, people are of the view that I should have plenty of cash. Cash is a good thing, not a bad thing. But buying the trendy item and buying too many of the item which you don't even need, I think that is not being classy at all. That is not being worth following at all. Rather, we need to practice the minimalism. How can we do that? What exactly it means? I think that we need to have fewer things in our possession, but according to our own need, whatever we genuinely need, we should try to provide it to ourselves. But buying the trendy item, the fashionable item, the unnecessary item, just to impress other people that I possess too much, I possess this much, I think it is not good at all, and it will not actually include us amongst the people who are really legendary character. I think that we need to buy the fewer things, but these things should be of slightly good quality, and these items should be the needed items only. Now the third is practice self awareness. What is this self awareness? Being aware of our own strengths and what kind of opportunities I may get because of these opportunities. I need to know what are my weaknesses and what kind of threats could be there because of my weaknesses, so that I should try to contain, should try to reduce, and should try to minimize it. So, my dear friends and fellows, so also being well aware of our own emotions, of our own motives and motivation, I think that is really good, and that is called self awareness. Now, many of the people are of the view that why to make any effort for making ourselves aware about ourselves. I think, as a matter of fact, we it takes quite a lot of time, and it is worth doing that because we are the most important person for we ourselves. So, in a situation like this one, why not to do whatever is needed to make ourselves well aware about ourselves? Self awareness, that is something which is so much important. It cannot be ignored at all unless and until we are well aware about ourselves. Neither we know that what needs to be eradicated out of my habits and what needs to be included in my habit. So I think it is very important that we people are practicing the self awareness. Now, the fourth thing, which out of the eight, is that embrace your creative potential. Everybody has been given and gifted with certain creative potential by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, in a situation like this one, why to? Why not to pay attention to it? Why not? Why to live the life like like the very fixed mindset? Why not to be a bit creative? Because by being a creative person, we can lead even a fuller life. We can better tackle the challenges, the problems in our life, and we may define the new way, the new line, the new strategy to reach our destination. Look upon all the genius people, look upon all the very intelligent people, look upon all the very successful people. They were not just following the rut, rather, they people were doing everything they can to make themselves as more creative person. So, dear friend, now the fifth is cultivate authentic relationships. Today is the digital age, and people are seen busy making a relationship on the social media. That is okay, but that is not a meaningful relationship at all. Now, look upon the people, they are seen networking, they are seen developing their acquaintance here and there, which is not bad at all. You can carry it on, but having certain relationships which are quite genuine, which are quite authentic, this is very important. And these few relationships are more important than having hundreds of relationships either on the social media or here and there. And I don't negate that those people shouldn't get busy on the social media or not in the society for the networking. Carry it on, but never ignore and try to understand the real importance of the authentic relationship. And I think without the authentic relationship, even if at all we are having plenty of the gadgets in our life, all the luxuries, most of the luxuries, plenty of the luxuries in our life is not going to be complete at all unless and until we are accompanied by certain authentic relationships. And now, dear friends and fellows, now the sixth is that we need to, the sixth is, my dear friends and fellows, that we need to embrace the setbacks. Setbacks are there, and we do often come across a failure, we do often come across a setback, we do often come across feeling inadequate somewhere else. So, in a situation like this one, we need to understand that failure or a setback, first of all, the setback is not a failure, and I think even the failure at certain places, it is actually a great learning experience which can make our future attempts, our present attempts far better because we are expanding our horizon in this manner. We are learning, we are becoming more experienced, we are becoming more competent people. So I think that as for this setback is concerned, I think setback is actually providing us with the new, with the expanded horizon, with the new opportunity. So it is so important, so important. Now the seventh is practice financial responsibility. Financially responsible person does not mean that we need to accumulate much of the money. Money is not bad. Money is a good thing. Money is energy, provided we have earned it in the right manner, in the ethical manner, and we are consuming it, we are investing it again in a responsible manner as well. So finance is the biggest, one of the biggest factors of our life. We cannot afford to ignore it, and we need to become financially responsible person. It is very important. Either we are consuming or we are investing in any of the businesses. These consumption must be in accordance with the core values of our life, and should not be against those things at all. Our investment and of course our consumption, this shouldn't be spreading the bad, the voice in the society at all. Rather, it must be promoting something good. So that is financial responsibility. The way we are actually seen using the money, money really matters and matters a lot. Now the eighth and the last thing is, dear friends, cultivating self compassion. Self compassion, people say, why self compassion? What is the need of it? I think it is more important to practice the self compassion than any other thing. Once we fail, once we suffer a setback, once we are feeling inadequate somewhere else, I think that we must be, taking care of it, and it is being warm and being understanding toward oneself, being warm and understanding toward oneself. Once we fail, once we suffer a setback, or once we are feeling inadequate somewhere else, why to be cruel with oneself? People are seen, doing the harsh criticism and making the judgment. I think that we need to accept, yes, I feel there somewhere, but I don't need to criticize myself so harshly. I need to simply learn how can I prevent a situation like this one in the future. So that is all enough. Nothing more than that is needed at all. Nothing more than that is needed at all. So, my dear friends and fellows, it is very important indeed, that we people are practicing the self compassion like we treat our loved one, like we treat the most important person in our life. That once they are not happy, once they are in trouble, once they suffer a setback or a failure, how do we treat them? We treat them lovingly, caringly, and we want them to stand on their own feet. We want them to start a normal life again. We want them to again become very active, in their respective field. So that is needed here in with us as well. So instead of self-flagellation, instead of harshly criticizing us, it is far better to treat ourselves with what, with the care, with the love, with the compassion, with the kind-heartedness. So these are the eight things which are needed to develop ourselves into a legendary character, which will be, of course, quite imitable, quite followable for the rest of the people, and we will be talked about during our life and after our life as well. That's all from me at the moment. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz wa Nasir.